Hello, 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 and welcome to the very first episode of the Flooring Experts podcast. This week, our resident flooring experts Mark and Emma take a deep dive into some of the many questions flooring customers ask us on our website over at flooring365.co.uk. Before I hand over to our resident superstars, please be sure to share, like, and subscribe. You'll get exclusive access to our free weekly podcast and stay up to date with all the latest flooring tips, tricks, and money-saving offers we have in store for you at Flooring 365. Without further ado, let's get this show on the road.
All right, so maybe you're like knee-deep in this whole home renovation thing, right?
Yeah.
And you get to the flooring, and suddenly it hits you. There are so many options.
It can be overwhelming.
Totally. And you just want to make the right choice, especially since flooring, it's a big deal. It really sets the tone for the whole space.
Flooring is huge. And thankfully, there are resources out there to help us out, like flooring365.co.uk. They've got these amazing FAQs full of real-life questions from people just like us. It's like they've got a crystal ball or something.
Seriously, it's like they've heard it all. So for this deep dive, we're going deep into the world of engineered wood flooring, using their FAQs as our guide.
And just a heads up, if engineered wood isn't your thing, don't worry. This website has got you covered no matter what kind of flooring you're into.
They've got everything. But yeah, engineered wood. It's everywhere these days, and there are a lot of questions about it. Like, first and foremost, is it actually as durable as everyone says? I mean, can it stand up to, like, a dog who thinks the living room is a racetrack?
The zoomies.
Yeah.
A classic test of any flooring's metal. And actually, the answer is yes. Engineered wood can handle the zoomies. Flooring 365 talks about how the construction, with those multiple layers, including real hardwood on top, makes it super stable and resilient.
Oh, so it's not just a pretty face then?
Not at all. It's built to last. In fact, they actually had a question about this from a guy named John D. He specifically asked if it's good for high traffic areas. And they were very clear. Engineered wood is definitely up for the challenge.
Music to my ears. But okay, let's say I've got my zoomies-prone dog, my high-traffic hallway. How long are we talking? Will this flooring still be around for my next renovation craze in, 100 years?
You're closer than you think. It's kind of amazing, actually. The source mentions that with proper care, engineered wood can last up to a century. Think about that. Choosing flooring now that could potentially outlive us all kind of blows my mind.
Okay, now we're talking legacy. But what about the eco-friendly aspect? Is that just marketing hype, or is there really something to it?
Oh, it's legit. Flooring 365 explains that because of the way engineered wood is made, with those core layers, it uses way less hardwood compared to solid wood. And get this, a lot of manufacturers are using recycled materials in those core layers too.
That's awesome. Beautiful and sustainable. I'm here for it. Speaking of beautiful, though, let's be real.
Yeah.
Installation can be a bit daunting. Does Flooring 365 offer any words of wisdom on that front?
They sure do. You can tell from the FAQs that they get it. Installation can make or break your flooring dreams. They've got a ton of questions about it. Like, there's one about laying engineered wood directly over joists, and they really emphasize how important it is to have that proper subfloor and spacing.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Nobody wants a bouncy floor. Or worse, what happens if you don't get that part right?
Oh, I've heard horror stories. Imagine you've just finished this amazing renovation, everything looks perfect, and then every time you walk across the floor, it's like a symphony of squeaks.
Oh no, my renovation nightmares are coming to life.
And the worst part, it's totally avoidable. Flooring 365 even gives this example of someone who rushed the installation, skipped some steps, ended up with a squeaky floor, and now it's a constant reminder.
Okay, message received. No cutting corners on the installation.
Yeah.
Okay, so no shortcuts. Got it. But I bet some people are out there thinking, why even bother with engineered wood? Why not just go straight for the real deal solid wood flooring?
It's a classic debate, right? And, Flooring 365 doesn't shy away from those tough questions. They actually address this very thing, comparing engineered wood to other options like solid wood and even laminate flooring.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Like, laminate flooring always seems like a tempting option, especially for anyone on a budget.
Totally. And to be fair to laminate, Flooring 365 even says it has its place, Like, it can be a good option if you're working with a tight budget, and it can be surprisingly durable. But there's a but there, right? Engineered wood, it just has this authentic look and feel, that warmth that laminate can't really replicate.
Yeah, real wood just has that special something, doesn't it? That character.
Exactly. And another key thing is that you can refinish engineered wood multiple times. So even though you might spend a little bit more upfront compared to laminate, it's a much longer term investment.
Like buy nice or buy twice. Right?
Okay.
But okay, then there's solid wood flooring, the classic, always in style option.
Right. It never really goes out of style. And Flooring 365 even mentions that having solid wood floors can actually increase your home value, which is pretty cool. But, and this is a big but, solid wood can be a little finicky, to put it mildly. Like, moisture is its enemy. And don't even get me started on temperature changes.
Okay, so maybe not the best choice for my dream kitchen,
Yeah.
where spills are basically a daily occurrence.
Probably not the ideal spot for solid wood, and that's another area where engineered wood really shines. It handles moisture and temperature fluctuations much better. I mean, Flooring 365 even mentions that you can use it in kitchens and even in some bathrooms.
Whoa, really?
Uh-huh.
Engineered wood in the bathroom. Now I'm intrigued. Okay, so let's say we've got our beautiful, durable, eco-friendly engineered wood flooring all picked out and installed. How do we keep it looking amazing for, the next century?
Right. Maintenance is key. And you know what? Flooring 365 keeps it refreshingly simple. Like, forget about those expensive specialty cleaners. They actually debunk that myth.
Oh, thank goodness. Because I've totally fallen for those marketing traps before.
Haven't we all? But seriously, they break it down like this. Regular sweeping, just to keep the dust bunnies at bay. And then for deeper cleaning, a damp mop with a pH-neutral cleaner specifically for wood floors. That's it.
So simple. I love it. Okay, so simple cleaning routine for our practically eternal flooring. That sounds like a win-win to me.
Right. And speaking of making it last, remember how we talked about the importance of that top layer, that hardwood veneer? Well, I found this really interesting tidbit in the Flooring 365 FAQs. Apparently, the thickness of that top layer determines how many times you can actually refinish the floor.
Wait, seriously? I had no idea. So it's not just a matter of can it be refinished, it's how many times can we refinish this thing? This is why I love deep dives. Tell me more.
Right. It's all about the details. They explain that a thicker top layer basically gives you more wood to work with when you sand and refinish. They recommend looking for a top layer that's at least 3 millimeters if you want to be able to refinish it multiple times. It's like insider knowledge.
Okay, that is so helpful. I'm adding check top layer thickness to my list right now. See, this is why I love these FAQs. You find the best tips buried in there.
Totally. It's like they've thought of everything. And they don't just give you the facts, they give you the context too, like with that squeaky floor example. Makes it all so much more, relatable.
Totally. Anyone who's ever done a renovation has had those moments where they're like, did I mess this up?
Exactly. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, all about engineered wood flooring, thanks to the awesome Flooring 365 FAQs.
Yeah.
What would you say is like the key takeaway for anyone listening who's about to jump into their own flooring project?
I think for me, it's the power of being informed, right?
Yeah.
Flooring 365, they've done the heavy lifting. They've answered the tough questions, busted some myths, given us those insider tips. It makes the whole process so much less intimidating.
Right. It's like having your own personal flooring expert on call.
Totally. Oh, and speaking of experts, there was one more thing I wanted to mention about the FAQs. They have all this great info online, but they also really encourage people to reach out if they have specific questions.
Oh, yeah, I love that. They make it clear that they're there to help, not just to throw information at you and run away.
Exactly, because everyone's renovation journey is different, right?
Yes.
It's like they're saying, we've given you the knowledge, but sometimes you need that personal touch to really figure out what's best for you.
Yes. It's like, come for the FAQs, stay for the personalized advice.
Exactly. So for anyone out there who's feeling inspired to tackle their own flooring project, do yourself a favor and check out flooring365.co.uk. Their FAQs are a treasure trove of information, and who knows, maybe you'll even find yourself picking up the phone and having a chat with one of their experts. You never know what other hidden gems of wisdom they might have up their sleeves.